Hi, this is a short explanation for the Change in Beliefs assignments, the two essays. Basically, unlike the previous assignments you've had to do, this is a lot more sort of open. You can bring in a lot of individualised stuff that you found yourself, so it's not as prescribed as the other ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to base this short talk around this presentation here, which is on Moodle, and just sort of expand on some of the points and some of the sections I'd like you to include and things I'd like you to consider. So what we're talking about is this brief here. So you've got your two essays. So the first one, what's the role of religion in our society? So let's look at that one first. Right, so these first 3 points are, quite self-explanatory, but the assignment front cover, the title, what is the role of religion in society, and your introduction outlining briefly what you're going to be looking at in the essay to come. Now, this first essay, the areas I want you to cover are included in booklets 1 and 2 for the assignment. Just in case, I gave them out in the class, but just in case you'll find all the booklets here on Moodle. Right, so to start off with, the first part, the assignment is asking you to talk about the science versus religion debates. There's lots and lots and lots of them. All it's trying to do is, if you look at what it says in the brief, it's discussed different sociological views, as well as some of the wider philosophical and scientific debates. Or essentially, I've just boiled that down into science versus religion. So the starting place for this is, again, on Moodle. If you go to the Change in Beliefs film link, once you sort of log into Boxy Broadcast, the two great starting points for this are the documentary by Richard Dawkins, The God Delusion, and this one here, The End of God, which is a kind of historical look at old BBC documentaries about the conflict between religion and science. Now, with the Dawkins one, as you will see quite quickly upon just the introduction to the film, this man does not like religion, but he's produced it as a documentary. It's a polemic, a one-sided argument, but what he does do is he goes all around the world interviewing different religious figures who are giving their side of the story. So most of it's him saying how science is, the way forward, the way we should understand the world, what we should teach our kids. But as he does interviews with others, they're given the other side, why they think religion should be the way we see the world. So basically, if you watch those films, if you look at in booklet 1, there's various statements in the bubbles talking about statements supporting religion, statements supporting science. Here, it's open-ended. You're just saying what science is good at and what religion's good at, and that debate leads nicely into the second main part of the essay, what Durkheim, Marx and Weber say about religion. What's it for? Why do we have it? What does it do? And the reason I say that part links to the science versus religion debate is because all three of them either give pros or cons, or a mixture of both, regarding religion and its role in society, which can fit in to that science versus religion debate. So Durkheim, essentially, religion's great for social solidarity, shared rituals, it brings society together. Marx, surprise surprise, religion is bad, it's just a convenient tool for capitalists to use to brainwash people into thinking that the suffering they go through in this life they'll be rewarded for it after they die. And Weber, he's very specific about religion, and he studied it in a lot more detail than the other two. He says that a certain kind of religion, Protestantism, what it did was to develop modern capitalism in the West. and he called it the Protestant work ethic and the spirit of capitalism. I'm not even going to attempt to say that in German. But yeah, so he looked at that and he said that Protestantism, part of the religion was that you should work hard, and work was good. And if you've got a capitalist system that is dependent on people working very hard, perfect. And he said the two were totally interlinked. So there's what you have, the three. So that's essay 2. Remember, guys, be free. Yeah, bring in, find your own ideas. Yeah, bring in, from not just the booklets or the stuff on Moodle. If you look in Haralambous, there's a full chapter on this. There's lots of resources out there. Right, the second essay is a slightly longer one. It's on secularisation, and the main, obviously, if you would guess, the main concept here is the concept of secularisation, which basically, and that's the first main point of the essay, as you talk about the different ways it can be defined, which you'll find in booklets 3 and 4. Essentially though, secularisation is talking about how religion in any given society, or the world in general, is losing its importance to people and to government. So, first of all, say what secularisation is. Second, you give examples of secularisation, and examples of where there seems to be evidence saying, no, we're not getting less religious. So examples of secularisation, once again you can refer to the booklets, and Haralambous has got some great stuff on this, as where you might have falling church attendances, and that is the case if you look at the Church of England and the Catholic Church in the UK. However, if you ever go to a mosque or an evangelical church on those days of worship, it's quite hard to suggest that religion's declining in importance, because those places are full. So that's like an example of non-secularisation. So basically, say what it is, give examples that say yes, it is happening, or no, it's not happening, and then from those examples include in it your discussion. So the arguments, it's like, well, church figures are showing that it is happening, and then there'll be theorists that say, well, yes, of course, yep. So as you're finding your examples, you're automatically going through the arguments. So I know I've put this here as 2 separate points, but you're just saying what secularisation is, and then you're giving examples for or against it. Examples that have been cited by perhaps other authors. And then finally, your conclusion, this is what you think. Do you think that we as a society are becoming more secular, i.e. we're becoming less religious? Alright. Right, so just some general tips. First of all, please proofread your work. Please use the correct referencing style. Write in the general information section on Moodle for the whole course. There's a resources regarding Harvard referencing. Last year I emailed you a booklet about Harvard referencing. So please, let's not just be listing web addresses or giving the title of a book. Full details, please, in your reference section. So in your own words. So obviously this is regarding plagiarism. That's not been a problem with the work release group, so I have no thoughts to the contrary at this stage. And you should attempt both tasks, so don't think, oh, it's near the deadline, I've only done half of the second essay, I'll hand it in and we'll get another chance. If you don't, that works. It's not a full piece of work, it's not a full submission. It's not a full submission, and once you do hand something in, it would be late, and obviously that gets capped at a pass. Alright guys, I hope that's been helpful. I'll be available all next week and the week after, obviously, regardless of when the deadline is, that applies. Alright.